So we know that Endeavor, which is a entertainment art media holdings company, they were responsible for the merger of WWE and UFC to be TKO. But they have done another wrestling related interesting move, which is that they've teamed up with Impact Wrestling to create an Impact Wrestling streaming service, TNA Plus. Now, we've been talking about TNA, me, Banks and I, Mo and I sometimes have talked about Impact Wrestling. She doesn't watch it, even though she likes Trinity, which I don't understand. Because how do you support Trinity if you don't even watch her matches on Impact Wrestling? That's another story for another time. But
Don't be calling me out.
I'm you see the hand, you see it.
Put the hand down.
No, this is
Put
accountability.
the hand down.
This is accountability.
Women don't like
But
accountability. Don't. It feels like
but
it's like spray to a cat.
right, it's like yeah, yeah. But
Accountability. Go ahead.
accountability. But the thing about it is that TNA has been set abuzz, right? We learned within the past couple months that Impact Wrestling will be going back to its roots as TNA Wrestling. They are rebranding, if you will, and their first event will be taking place in Vegas in January. We see that Okada is going to have a match in TNA. So there's a lot of excitement around the rebrand. They also kind of announced a couple of re-signings and signings today. Eddie Edwards is re-signing with TNA. So there's a lot of buzz surrounding TNA. Bringing Impact Wrestling into the Endeavor fold in some way, shape, or form, I think is huge because TNA, Impact Wrestling previously had a business relationship with obviously being on Access TV. They had a business relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Before that, they had a business relationship with AEW. And Will Ospreay, who is now officially an AEW talent, has a match on TNA coming in 2024. Um, so in layman's terms, this is a very, very interesting move. But I want to know what your opinions are on this. How do you feel like this move of TNA / Impact teaming up with Endeavor is going to change things? Do you think that we're going to see some TNA WWE crossovers at any point in time?
Yeah, and that'd be pretty cool. Actually, what a way to like try to win back some wrestlers that we lost from WWE if you like actually pull that. Again, I don't watch TNA like Jordan called me out on rudely. Um, whatever. But they have a shit ton of talent to work with. And I feel like when it comes to WWE, they know they have a formula that already works, but they're open to trying other business ventures, and I don't put it past them to see how crossovers work really well in AEW and how they were able to make great cash in pay-per-views off of, crossing over a little bit with Japan. So I could see them doing a little bit more with Impact and just like here and there thing. And again, it's a big power move for Impact because I just remember
Mhm.
a couple of years ago, people were just making fun of Impact, you know, talking about it as if like it's a place that you go to when you screwed up your career and you need to like revamp yourself again. It's like preliminary, and then you get to go back and see if you're accepted by the bigger companies. So I
Right.
think it's a pretty wise move. Um, Again, the roster, like I said, is hot to work with. Um, I I'm interested. I'm interested. Maybe then I'll actually watch, and I'll watch for Trinity, Jordan.
Finally,
But what-
finally, this is this is juicy. That's what I'll say. And the reason why I was on my phone was because um I was trying to pull up some names to see what their roster is because I wanted to give context. I know who's a part of Impact Wrestling / TNA. But some other people may not. So I'm gonna just rattle off a few names for you guys. So
Doesn't
we have
like Deanna
Ace.
Peralta.
We have a Deanna Perrazzo, Ace Austin, Chris Bay. We have Tommy Dreamer, Chris Sabin,
He wrestles.
Trinity. We have Alex Shelley. They have Dirty Dango. They have Josh Alexander, Khan, Laredo Kid. They have
Where's
Mike
Crimson
Bailey.
Clit?
Jordan Grace is another one. The Rascals, they have Rhino, they have Rich Swan, they have Savannah Evans. They also just signed Trent Seven. They also have Steve Macklin. They also have Trey Miguel technically is a part of the Rascals. They have the Good Hands, Tasha Steeles, Subculture, who was previously a part of NXT UK, Sheldon Jean, Savannah Evans, Santino Morella. They have a bunch of talent, and they've been obviously one of those companies that kind of comes out with a chip on their shoulder in the sense of like, we may not have all the stars, but we're still a great wrestling company. We have a great wrestling product, and therefore we're gonna put it all out on the line every time we have a show, whether that's TV, whether that's pay-per-view. As far as how I see this is gonna shape up, this is gonna be very, very interesting because like I said, Impact is one of those companies that has positioned itself to be cool with everybody, right? There was a point in time where they did not have the reputation or the credibility to kind of be where they are now, and they have it now. They've worked with New Japan Pro Wrestling, they've worked with AEW. Now they're in the same space as WWE. But I also feel like this is a testament to how valuable TNA's video library is. Everybody talks about TNA and Impact and what they've done in the past. But like you think about it, a lot of the GOATs, a lot of the greats have done a little stint in TNA/Impact. Sting, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian. Did I mention Sting? Christian Cage was another one. Um, Jeff Jarrett was another one. Even some of the best tag teams in the world, right? Like we can go off of Beer Money. We could talk about the Dudleys. We could talk about America's Most Wanted. We could talk about Triple X. Like they have had so many great talents, and they've had so many great a history of having a great wrestling product that I feel like Endeavor was able to see how valuable their library was and be like, we want a part of this, and it puts them in the same space as WWE. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw AJ Styles make a little TNA appearance. I mean, AJ, when we talk about the house that AJ built, AJ Styles is TNA. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get those crossovers. But now I'm curious to see how Tony Khan is going to pivot and react. Because now that you have a company that you have a business relationship with be in the same space as WWE, does it change your approach? Would you allow some of your talent to be at TNA shows? I don't know. But it is something to consider. But I think it's going to be really, really interesting. And it's only going to be good for wrestling. But that's about it for TNA Plus and the streaming service. I want to know how you guys feel about it. Let us know in the comments below. But we are going to move on. Yeah.